Well, hello again and welcome back to my channel. Now, nearly 2 years ago, I'd done a video on installing these UPVC windows into a timber framed garden room, workshop, man cave, whatever you want to call it. And the video itself was really successful and had lots of positive feedback. Now, if you haven't caught the video, I actually managed to get these 3 windows and the door for free out of a skip. It's actually out of a Premier League footballer skip, but that's another story. So to get these windows, which are really well insulated and secure, fitted into the workshop for free was a big bonus. There was only one little niggle about them, and that's the fact that the UPVC itself was white, and I knew the insulated roof panels was going to be black, so they kind of look a little bit out of place. Now, what I haven't got around to yet, and the photo will show you, is actually boxing the windows in because of weather, me being lazy, all that kind of thing. So before I box the windows in, I'm actually going to have an attempt at painting these windows black. Now, I know there's been a lot of advancements in paint technology in recent years, but the idea of painting a UPVC window, I didn't know whether it was going to basically look rubbish. So I reached out to a couple of my YouTube friends, so Keith Rag'n'Bone Brown and Aidan at the Aidan Project, and they suggested this paint, which is Zinsser Allcoat. Now, I recently used this stuff to help a friend paint their shop front, and I was literally astounded by how good this paint was. It was an alternative to gloss. It only needed minimal sanding down. So easy to apply. It was dry within like 3/4 of an hour to an hour to give it a second coat. So I managed to get 3 coats on just in the morning and get the shop front finished. So I'm going to try this stuff with the UPVC windows. Now, I think with any kind of painting project, and I'm certainly a huge novice in the world of this, preparation is key. So what equipment am I going to need for this? Well, I've got all the stuff over there. I've got some sugar soap solution with a cloth. I've got a paintbrush, a roller, some painter's tape, some scissors, a very fine sanding pad, and obviously the paint itself. So enough chit chat. I need to get myself out there, get them all cleaned up first, and get myself ready, and fingers crossed it's going to go well. Whenever I do any filming outside, I'll go into full-on David Attenborough mode, the quiet voice. Don't want to disturb the wildlife. It's just respect for the neighbours, but also them thinking that crazy fella talking to himself again. Anyway, I've washed these down with sugar soap solution, dried off nice. Now, before I go to doing any painting, just going to do a little bit more prep work. It doesn't necessarily say you have to do this in the Zinsser instructions, but I've got a fine sanding pad. So I'm just going to give it a light rub down with this. You could use something like a Scotch-Brite pad. You don't have to put in big gouges in there because I think that would come through in the paint. So I'm going to rub it down with one of these. Then, to get all the fine dust particles and any, residue or anything off, I go with my Tack cloths. Now, these are by far the best method I've found for removing any kind of dust particles, particularly on my chopping boards or anything. I'm going to do the same process for this. If you know a different way, a better way, a more efficient way, let me know in the comments. So rub down, Tack cloth, tape the insides of the windows because I'm a terrible painter, and I'll give it a go. So it's not too bad because I've not boxed them in yet, so it doesn't have to be completely perfect on that kind of outside part of the window, because you're not going to see that. But I want to do as good a job as I possibly can. Right, crack on, enough chit chat. Okay, oh, just a bit. Tape's on. It's had a final wipe down with the tack cloth, so we're ready to start painting. Now, with this stuff, you need to give it a good stir first. Now, as I said at the beginning, I'm no expert, I'm just a enthusiastic amateur, shall we say. But my one previous experience using this is it's a primer and a top coat, but it's going to need a minimum of 2 coats. So when you put the first coat on, don't be shocked if you go and you can't get proper coverage and it looks a bit rubbish. That's probably the best way to describe it, because that gives it the bond, and then the second coat will give it the finished look, if you like. So I'm going to put it on with a brush. Where I can, I'm just going to kind of roll out that bit. It won't get perfect coverage on the first one, but hopefully by the second, maybe third coat, it should be looking all right. So give this a stir up, then I'm going to get cracking. Right, first coat's done. I'm going to go and give the brush and the sponge roll a bit of a rinse through, just with warm water, a little bit of soap, water based, so it's easy to clean. This will not take more than an hour, probably take about 3/4 of an hour for it to go off, ready for a second coat. But yeah, it looks a bit of a mess as it is, but I'm quietly confident it's going to be all right. I hope so. Right, that's this one done, and I have to say I am really, really happy with how these have turned out. I really like the textured finish that the paint gives. Could you get a better finish? You probably could. You could use a spray gun. I do have a basic Wagner spray gun, which I've got a video about, and I probably could have used that, but in this one I wanted to show that you could actually attempt a project like this with the most basic of tools. That brush was, you know, a pack of 5 for £2.99. The sponge roller, you get a pack of 5 of them for about £1. So that's all you need. As long as you get the preparation right and get all the prep, all the dust off, and then a little bit of scoring, just the faintest amount, then it gives the paint the best chance to bond. It does say not to paint in direct sunlight, and I can understand why, because when I was painting on this one, it was going off pretty much straight away. So I was having to paint, then get the roller, paint, then get the roller. But you can't do it in under 10 degrees. You can't do it in direct sunlight. You've got to make a call at some point. And I think it's much better to be doing the painting in conditions like this than in cloud, and you're halfway through and it starts raining and it ruins the effect. So yeah, really good. I'm definitely going to do the door now that I've done these windows, because I think it just looks smart, makes the workshop look a little bit smarter. Future project, I'm going to have to box these in. And yeah, and I'll do the old social media thing on the door. I think it's going to be a separate video because it's exactly the same principles. Okay everyone, thanks for sticking with me on that one. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care, look after yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.